Park Jin-ho walked through the metal halls of the space station with his cleaning cart. The wheels made a soft sound on the floor. He had worked here for 3 years, cleaning every part of the big station that floated in space. Today was different. Today he got a new job. Dr. Kim So-man waited for him at the door to the special science area. She was a tall woman with kind eyes but a serious face. Her white coat was very clean, and she held a small computer in her hands. "Jin-ho, thank you for coming," she said. "I need to tell you about your new work area before you go in." Jin-ho nodded. He was used to getting special instructions. Some areas of the station needed extra care, some had dangerous chemicals, some had important experiments that could not be touched. "This area is different from anything you have cleaned before," Dr. So-man said. She looked worried. "We have a visitor here. A very special visitor." She touched her computer, and the wall screen came alive. Pictures showed a large room with white walls and bright lights. In the corner sat something that made Jin-ho's eyes go wide. It was a dragon. The dragon was small, maybe the size of a young person. Her scales were blue-green, like deep ocean water. Her wings were folded close to her body. She sat very still, looking at nothing. "Her name is Kaya," Dr. So-man said. "She is the first dragon we have ever seen up close. The first one that did not try to kill us." Jin-ho knew about dragons. Everyone in human space knew about them. They lived in the far parts of the galaxy and had great ships and weapons. They could talk without moving their mouths, using only their minds. For many years, dragons and humans had fought in space. Many people had died. "Where did she come from?" Jin-ho asked. "We found her ship floating dead in space 3 months ago. No power, no life support, no other dragons. Just her, alone and hurt. She has not spoken since we brought her here. She does not eat much. She just sits." Dr. So-man showed him more pictures. Scientists in white coats stood outside the room, watching, through thick glass. Guards with big guns stood at every door. Machines beeped and showed numbers on screens. "We think she might be sick in her mind," Dr. So-man said. "Maybe the loneliness broke something inside her. Or maybe she is just very sad." Jin-ho looked at the dragon on the screen. Even sitting still, she looked graceful. But her eyes were empty, like windows to a dark room. "What do you want me to do?" he asked. "Clean her room every day. Be very careful. Do not try to touch her or talk to her. If she moves toward you, press this button." Dr. So-man gave him a small red device. "Guards will come right away." Jin-ho took the device but did not like how it felt in his hand. "Has she hurt anyone?" "No. She has never moved when people are near. But dragons are very strong. We must be safe." Dr. So-man walked him to the special door. She put her hand on a scanner and the door opened with a soft sound. Inside, more doors waited. Each one needed a different key or scan. "The inner room has cameras everywhere," she said. "We watch all the time. Do your work quickly and quietly. Do not stay longer than you need to." The last door opened, and Jin-ho saw the dragon room for real. It was bigger than it looked on the screen. The walls were white and clean. Bright lights came from the ceiling. In one corner was a bed that looked too small. In another corner was a place for water and food. Most of the food looked like it had not been touched. And there was Kaya. She sat in the far corner, her back to the wall. Her head was down, looking at her own hands. Her scales caught the light and made small rainbows. Her breathing was slow and steady. Jin-ho stepped into the room with his cleaning things. The door closed. Behind him with a soft click. Now it was just him and the dragon. He had cleaned many strange places before. Rooms full of alien plants, labs where scientists grew new kinds of life, areas where the air tasted like metal and made his nose burn. But this felt different. This felt like he was in someone's bedroom without asking. Jin-ho started to clean the floor near the door. He moved slowly and tried not to make noise, but his cleaning machine still made sounds. Water swished. Brushes turned. The wheels of his cart squeaked a little. For a moment, he thought he saw Kaya's ear turn toward him, but when he looked directly at her, she was still as stone. He cleaned in a big circle around the room, always staying far from the dragon. The floor was not very dirty. Not many people came in here, but his job was to make everything clean, so he worked carefully. As he cleaned, Jinho started to hum. It was an old song his grandmother used to sing when he was small. The tune was soft and gentle. It made him think of home and warm food and people who loved him. This time, he was sure. Kaya's head moved just a little bit, not toward him, but, like she was listening, Jinho kept cleaning and kept humming. He did not look at Kaya directly, but he could feel her attention like warm sunlight on his back. When he finished cleaning, he put his things back on the cart. Before leaving, he looked at the food corner. Most of the food was old and hard. The water bowl was only half full. "The food looks old," he said quietly, not really talking to Kaya, but not talking to himself either. "I wonder if dragons like fresh things like humans do." He pressed the button to call the guards, and the door opened. As he pushed his cart out, he thought he heard something behind him. A very soft sound, almost like a sigh. Dr. Soman was waiting outside. "How did it go?" "Fine," Jinho said. "She did not move much, but I think she was listening." "Listening to what?" "I was humming while I worked, old songs from home." Dr. Soman looked interested. "Did she react?" "Maybe. It was hard to tell." On the way back to his regular work areas, Jinho thought about the dragon sitting alone in that white room. He thought about how her scales caught the light, and how empty her eyes looked. He thought about how far from home she must be. Tomorrow he would clean her room again. Maybe he would hum different songs. Maybe he would talk a little bit, just to fill the quiet. He did not know that far away, across the galaxy, someone else was watching. Someone who saw everything through Kaya's eyes, someone who had heard him humming and wondered what kind of enemy would sing gentle songs while working. Jinho came back to clean Kaya's room the next day, and the day after that. Every morning he would get his cart ready and walk through all the locked doors to reach the white room where the dragon sat. Each day was almost the same. Kaya would be in her corner, very still, looking at her hands or the wall. Jinho would clean around her, always staying far away. He would hum his old songs or sometimes talk quietly about his day. "The coffee machine broke again today," he said while cleaning the floor. "The engineers are not happy. Everyone needs coffee to work." Kaya never looked at him directly, but Jinho was good at noticing small things. It was part of his job. He saw that her ear would turn toward him when he spoke. He saw that her breathing changed when he sang certain songs. He saw that she would lift her head a little when he told funny stories. After 2 weeks, something different happened. Jinho was cleaning near the food area when he cut his hand on a broken piece of glass. It was not deep, but it bled. He said a bad word and put his finger in his mouth. From across the room came a sound, a small chirp like a bird might make, but worried, like the bird had seen something bad. Jinho looked at Kaya. For the first time, she was looking back at him. Her big eyes were focused on his bleeding hand. Her head was tilted to one side. "It's okay," Jinho said softly. "Just a small cut. Happens all the time when you clean things." He went to his cart and got a small bandage. As he wrapped his finger, he kept talking. "My grandmother always said cuts heal faster when you tell them nice things. Sounds silly, but she lived to be 96, so maybe she knew something." Kaya watched him the whole time. When he finished with the bandage, she made another small sound. This one was softer, like she was relieved. "You were worried about me," Jinho said, surprised. "That's very kind." For just a moment, their eyes met. Then Kaya looked away. but not like she was scared, more like she was shy. That night, Jinho told his wife about it during their video call. Minji lived back on Earth where she worked as a teacher. She had kind eyes and a warm smile, even on the small screen. "She made sounds when you got hurt?" Minji asked. "Yes, like she cared what happened to me." "Maybe she's just lonely," Minji said. "I have students who don't talk much at first. Sometimes they just need someone to be patient with them." Jinho thought about that. He thought about how empty Kaya's room was, how quiet, how she had no friends, no family, no one who cared about her except scientists who wanted to study her. The next day, he decided to try something new. When he came to clean, he brought a small plant from the station's garden. It had pretty white flowers and green leaves. He put it on a shelf where Kaya could see it. "I thought you might like some color in here," he said. "All white gets boring after a while." Kaya looked at the plant for a long time. Her eyes seemed a little brighter. Jinho started his cleaning and began to tell her about Earth. Not about the cities or the governments or the wars, but about the small, beautiful things. "In spring, all the trees grow new leaves," he said while washing the walls. "The whole world turns green in just a few weeks. And there are flowers everywhere, pink ones, yellow ones, red ones. The air smells sweet." He told her about summer rain and how it sounded on the roof. He told her about winter snow and how quiet everything became. He told her about autumn leaves that turned orange and gold before they fell. "Do dragons have seasons where you come from?" he asked. For a moment, he thought she might answer. Her mouth opened a little, and she took a breath like she was going to speak. But then she closed it again and looked down. "It's okay," Jinho said. "You don't have to talk if you don't want to." But he kept talking to her. He told her about his sister Minji and how she helped children who had trouble learning. He told her about his favorite foods and the music he liked. He told her about funny things that happened on the station. Every day Kaya listened. Every day she watched him a little more. She started to eat more of her food. She started to move around the room a little bit, not just sitting in the corner. After a month, she did something that surprised everyone watching the cameras. Jinho was telling her about a festival on Earth where people fly colorful kites in the sky. As he talked, he moved his hands to show how the kites danced in the wind. Kaya stood up. Slowly, carefully, she moved her hands the same way, like she was flying. "A kite, too." "Yes, just like that," Jinho said, smiling. "The kites dance with the wind, free and happy." Kaya's eyes met his again. This time, she did not look away. Dr. Somin called Jinho to her office later that day. She showed him the video of Kaya moving her hands. "This is the first time she has copied any human behavior," Dr. Somin said. "What did you do different?" "Nothing different," Jinho said. "I just talked to her like she was a person, not a thing to study." "But she's not a person. She's a dragon, an alien, maybe an enemy." Jinho thought about that. "She seems like a person to me, a young person who is scared and far from home." Dr. Somin looked at the video again. "Keep doing what you're doing, but be careful. We still don't know what she's capable of." That night, far across the galaxy, Empress Yara sat on her throne made of crystal and starlight. She was the ruler of all dragons, feared by every human in space. Her ships could destroy planets. Her armies had conquered star systems. But right now, she was just a mother watching her daughter. For months, she had seen through Kaya's eyes. She had watched humans in white coats poke and prod and study her child like a bug. She had felt her daughter's sadness and loneliness. She had been ready to bring her greatest fleet to burn every human world until she found Kaya. But now she watched. This strange human male who cleaned floors and sang gentle songs, who brought flowers and told stories about beautiful things, who looked at her daughter and saw not a weapon or a monster, but a lonely child who needed kindness. For the first time in many years, Empress Yara was confused. Everything she knew about humans said they were cruel and greedy, but this one was different. She watched him through her daughter's eyes and wondered if maybe there were things about humans that her people did not understand. Lieutenant Choi Dae-ho watched the security cameras with growing worry. The janitor was spending too much time with the dragon. More time than cleaning should take. More time than was safe. Dae-ho was head of security for the station. It was his job to keep everyone safe. Dragons were the enemy, even a small one, even one that seemed harmless. "Computer, show me all videos of Cleaner Park in the dragon area," he said to his desk. The screen filled with recordings. Dae-ho watched Jin-ho clean and talk and sing to the dragon. He watched the dragon start to move around more. Start to watch Jin-ho work. Start to copy his movements. It looked innocent, but Dae-ho knew that wars were often lost because someone trusted the enemy too much. He made a note in his report. Recommend limiting janitor's time with alien subject. Possible security risk. But before he could send the report, something happened that changed everything. Jin-ho came to clean Kaya's room like always, but today, Kaya was not in her usual corner. She was huddled against the far wall. Her scales, dark and dull. Her whole body shook like she was cold or scared. "What's wrong?" Jin-ho asked, forgetting about staying far away. He moved closer, his voice full of worry. Kaya looked at him with eyes full of sadness. She had been having bad dreams for many nights. Dreams about her home burning, about her family calling for her, about being lost in the dark forever. Jin-ho sat down on the floor, still far enough away to be safe, but close enough to talk softly. "My sister Minji told me something once," he said. "She said that when children are scared, sometimes they need to hear about good things, things that make them feel safe." He began to tell Kaya about his childhood home, about the small house where he grew up with his grandmother and sister, about the garden where they grew vegetables and flowers, about the neighbor's cat that would come visit every morning. The cat's name was Snowball because she was all white except for one black spot on her nose, Jin-ho said. "She would sit by our door and wait for my grandmother to give her milk. Every single day for 10 years. As he talked, Kaya's shaking began to stop. Her scales grew a little brighter. She lifted her head to listen better. "My grandmother would tell me stories while we worked in the garden," Jin-ho continued. "Stories about dragons, actually. But in her stories, dragons were wise and kind. They helped people and protected things that were beautiful." Kaya made a small sound. Not scared this time, but curious. "You know what I miss most about home?" Jin-ho asked. "The sound of children playing in the streets. Pure joy, you know? No fear, no worry, just happiness." He paused, thinking about how to explain happiness to someone who looked like she had never felt it. "Happiness is like sunshine inside your chest. It makes you want to sing or dance or laugh. It makes everything feel possible." Kaya tilted her head. Her mouth opened slightly like she wanted to ask something. For a long moment she was quiet. Then, in a voice that was rough from not being used, she spoke her first words in many months. "What is happiness?" The words came out slowly, in human language, not dragon speech. Each word took effort, like she was learning to use her voice. Again. Jin-ho's eyes went wide. His heart started beating fast. The dragon had spoken, to him. She had asked him a question. "Happiness is—" he started, then stopped. "How do you explain happiness to someone who has forgotten what it feels like?" "Happiness is when you see a friend after being alone for a long time," he said finally. "It's when you're hungry and someone shares their food with you. It's when you're cold and someone gives you a warm blanket." Kaya listened to every word. Her eyes were brighter now. more alive than they had been since she arrived. "It's when someone cares about you," Jinho continued. "When they worry if you're hurt. When they bring you flowers just because they think you might like them." He pointed to the small plant he had brought weeks ago. It had grown bigger and had more flowers now. "Happiness is knowing you're not alone," he said. Kaya looked at the plant, then back at Jinho. "Not alone?" "No, you're not alone. I come here every day because I care about you. The doctors care about you too, even if they show it differently. You matter to people." For the first time since she had arrived, Kaya smiled. It was a small smile, but it lit up her whole face. "Jinho, teacher," she said, using a word she had learned from his stories about his sister. "Thank you." In the security office. Lieutenant Deho watched this conversation with his mouth open. A dragon had just spoken human words. More than that, she had learned about human emotions. She was forming a bond with one of their people. This was either the greatest breakthrough in human-dragon relations ever, or the most dangerous thing that had ever happened on the station. Far away in space, Empress Yara felt something she had not felt in a very long time. Hope. Through her daughter's eyes, she had watched a human teach Kaya about happiness, not about war or weapons or how to be strong, about joy and friendship and caring for others. The human had called Kaya teacher, showing respect. He had worried when she was sad and celebrated when she smiled. He had given her something no dragon had ever given her before: simple, honest. Kindness with no expectations in return. Empress Yara began to wonder if everything she knew about humans was wrong. If this one human could show such compassion to her daughter, what did that say about his whole species? She watched Jinho clean up his cart and get ready to leave. Before he went, he did something that made her hearts. Dragons had 2 hearts. Beat faster. He bowed to Kaya, a small bow like one friend saying goodbye to another. "I'll see you tomorrow," he said. "Sleep well." "Sleep well, Jinho, teacher," Kaya replied. As the doors closed behind Jinho, Empress Yara made a decision. She would keep watching. She would learn more about these humans through her daughter's eyes. Maybe, just maybe, there was hope for peace between their peoples. But first, she had to understand what kind of beings could create someone like Jinho. Someone who could see an enemy's child and choose to show her love instead of hate. The answer to that question might change the galaxy forever. News about the dragon speaking spread through the station like fire. Dr. Kim Salmon was excited and scared at the same time. She called meetings with all the important people. Admiral Lee Hyunwoo flew in from the main fleet. Scientists from Earth asked to visit. Everyone wanted to study Kaya now that she could talk. But Jinho kept going to clean her room every day, just like before. Kaya would greet him with a smile and ask questions about human things. Her words got better every day. She learned faster than any child Jinho had ever seen. "How do humans show they care about each other?" she asked one day while he cleaned. "Many ways," Jinho said. "We hug people we love. We share food with friends. We remember important days like birthdays. We say, 'I love you' to family." "What is family?" Jinho sat down with his cleaning cloth still in his hands. This was a big question. Family is people who care about you no matter what. They might be born related to you, like parents and brothers and sisters, or they might choose to love you, like when people adopt children or when friends become like family. Kaya thought about this. "Do you have family?" "Yes. My sister Minji is my family. My wife is my family. My grandmother was family until she died. And..." He smiled at Kaya. "Sometimes family grows in unexpected ways." Kaya's eyes got wide. I family? If you want to be," Jinho said gently. That made Kaya so happy she jumped up and down like a human child. It was the first time anyone on the station had seen her move quickly or show so much joy. But not everyone was happy about Kaya's progress. Dr. Bae Youngji arrived from the Military Research Center on Mars. She was a thin woman with cold eyes and a voice that never got warm. She specialized in questioning enemies and learning their secrets. "The dragon has been coddled enough," she told Dr. Soman and Admiral Hyunwoo. "We need real information. How many ships do they have? Where are their bases? What are their weapons?" "She's just a child," Dr. Soman said. "She might not know military secrets. Dragons mature differently than humans. She could be much older than she looks. And even if she is young, she might know things without realizing it. We need to question her properly." Admiral Hyunwoo nodded. "Dr. Bae is right. This is our first chance to learn about dragon society from the inside. We can't waste it." The next day, Dr. Bae went into Kaya's room with recording equipment and a list of questions. She did not bring flowers or tell stories. She sat across from Kaya at a metal table and started asking hard questions. "How many ships does the Dragon Empire have?" she asked. Kaya looked confused. "I don't know. Many? What kind of weapons do your people use?" I was not taught about weapons." "Where is your home planet located?" Kaya's eyes filled with tears. "Far away. I want to go home." Dr. Bae did not care about the tears. She kept asking questions, getting angry when Kaya could not answer them. She demanded details about dragon technology, about their military, about their plans for war. By the time Jinho came to clean that afternoon, Kaya was sitting in her corner again, shaking and quiet. All the progress she had made seemed gone. She would not look at him or answer when he spoke. "What happened?" Jinho asked Dr. Soman through the intercom. Dr. Bae questioned her this morning. "Standard procedure for enemy prisoners." "Enemy prisoners?" Jinho's voice got loud. "She's a child. She was hurt and alone when you found her. She's a dragon, Jinho. We're at war with her people." Jinho looked at Kaya through the glass. She looked smaller than ever, curled up and scared. The light had gone out of her eyes again. "This is wrong," he said. He went into the room despite Dr. Soman telling him to wait. Kaya looked up when she heard his cart, but her face was full of fear now. "It's okay," Jinho said softly. "It's just me." "Jinho, teacher," Kaya whispered. The angry woman asked about home, about things that hurt to remember. Why do humans want to know about hurting? Jinho felt his heart break a little. Not all humans want to hurt others. Some are scared and think that asking hard questions will keep them safe. But they're wrong. Hurting others just makes more hurt. He sat down near her, like he had that first day when she was scared. "My sister Minji taught me something important," he said. "She said that every person, every being, deserves to be treated with kindness until they prove they don't deserve it. You have done nothing but try to learn and be friendly. You deserve kindness. But I am dragon. You are human. We are enemies." "Are we?" Jinho asked. "Do you want to hurt me?" "No. Never." "Do I want to hurt you?" Kaya thought about that. "No. You bring flowers and stories and smiles. Then maybe we're not enemies. Maybe we're just two people from different places who became friends." That night, Jinho did something he had never done before. He filed a complaint against Dr. Bae's treatment of Kaya. He wrote that using harsh questioning on a child was wrong, no matter what species she was. Lieutenant Daeho called him to the security office the next morning. "You're getting too involved with the subject," Daeho said. "It's affecting your judgment." "My judgment is fine," Jinho replied. "I can see the difference between a scared child and a dangerous enemy. That's exactly the problem. You see a child. Command sees a potential source of intelligence that could save human lives. What kind of lives are we saving if we become the kind of people who hurt children to get information?" Daeho did not have a good answer for that. Meanwhile, far across the galaxy, Empress Yara was having the same argument with her own advisors. "The humans have taken our princess," General Vex said, his scales bright red with anger. "We should attack every human world until they return her." I have been watching, Empress Yara said carefully. She could not tell them how she watched, without revealing the ancient magic that few dragons still knew. Some humans are treating her well. Some. What about the others? Empress Yara had seen Dr. Bay's questioning through Kaya's eyes. She had felt her daughter's fear and pain. Part of her wanted to burn every human world to ash, but she had also seen Jinho defend Kaya. She had watched him comfort her daughter and teach her about kindness. She had seen him risk his own position to protect a dragon child. "Prepare the fleet," she told General Vex. "But do not attack yet. I want to watch a little longer." "Watch for what, Empress?" "To see what these humans truly are, whether they are all monsters or whether some of them might be something better." General Vex did not understand, but he followed orders. The greatest dragon fleet in history began to move toward human space, ready for war. But their Empress hoped they would not need to fight. She hoped that the human who sang to her daughter while he worked might show her a different path. A path where dragons and humans could be more than enemies. A path that started with one janitor who chose to see a person instead of a monster, and one dragon child who learned that friendship could cross any boundary. Dr. Bay came back the next day with more equipment and harder questions. This time, she brought machines that could read brain activity and tools that could make loud noises and bright lights. Previous questioning was too gentle, she told Admiral Hyun-woo. The subject is clearly hiding information. We need to use advanced techniques. Jinho watched through the cameras in the security office. Lieutenant Daeho had brought him there to see what proper military questioning looked like. But what Jinho saw made him sick. Dr. Bay put a metal cap on Kaya's head that was connected to machines. Every time Kaya said, "I don't know," to a question, the machines would beep and flash lights in her eyes. When Kaya started crying, Dr. Bay just asked the questions louder. "Where are the dragon military bases?" "I don't know," Kaya sobbed. "I was just a student. I learned about art and music and poetry." "Dragons don't study art," Dr. Bay said coldly. "They study war. Tell me about the weapons." "Please stop," Kaya begged. "The lights hurt my eyes. The noise hurts my head." "Then answer the questions." Jinho could not watch anymore. He stood up and headed for the door. "Where are you going?" Daeho asked. "To stop this." "You can't. Those are direct orders from command." "Then command is wrong." Jinho walked fast through the halls toward Kaya's room. Behind him, he heard Daeho calling for guards, but he did not stop. When he reached the door to Kaya's room, he used his cleaning access card before anyone could stop him. The door opened just as Dr. Bay was reaching for a device that would send electric shocks through the metal cap on Kaya's head. "Stop!" Jinho shouted. Everyone in the room turned to look at him. Dr. Bay's face was full of anger. The two guards reached for their weapons. Kaya looked at him with desperate hope. "Get out, janitor," Dr. Bay said. "This is classified military business." "This is torture," Jinho said. "She's a child. She doesn't know anything about military secrets because she's not a soldier." "How would you know what she is?" "Because I've talked to her every day for months. I've listened to her. She tells me about learning to paint and wanting to see gardens and missing her family. Children don't lie about things like that." Dr. Bay picked up the shock device. "Maybe some pain will help her remember better." "No!" Jinho stepped between Dr. Bay and Kaya. "I won't let you hurt her. Move aside or be arrested for interfering with a military operation." Jinho looked at the guards, then at Dr. Bay, then at Kaya sitting in the chair with tears running down her face. She was looking at him like he was the only hope she had left in the world. "No," he said. "I won't move." The guards grabbed his arms, but Jinho kept talking. "Look at her," he said to everyone in the room. "Really look at her. She's scared and hurt and alone. She's not hiding secrets or planning attacks. She's just a young person who wants to go home to her family. How does hurting her make us any better than the enemies we're fighting?" Dr. Bay pushed past him and reached for Kaya with the shock device. But before she could touch her, Kaya did something unexpected. She spoke, but not in human language. She spoke in dragon speech, a sound like music and wind and distant thunder. The sound filled the room and seemed to come from everywhere at once. All the machines in the room went quiet. The lights flickered. The metal walls hummed softly. When the dragon speech stopped, Kaya looked directly at Dr. Bay and said in perfect, human words, "My mother is coming." Dr. Bay stepped back. "What did you say?" "My mother is Empress Yara, ruler of all dragons. She has been watching through my eyes since the day you found me. She has seen everything you have done to me. She has seen the human who brings me flowers and the human who brings me pain." Kaya's voice was different now, stronger, more sure of herself. "She is coming with the greatest fleet our people have ever assembled. But she is not coming to destroy you yet. She is coming to decide if humans can be saved or if they must all be burned away like weeds." The room was completely silent. Dr. Bay's face had gone white. The guards looked at each other with worry. "The human called Jinho has shown me that some of your people have good hearts," Kaya continued, "but you have shown me that others have hearts full of darkness. My mother will judge which kind of human you truly are." Admiral Hyunwoo's voice came through the intercom. "Security, arrest the janitor and escort Dr. Bay from the room immediately." The guard started to drag Jinho away, but he called out to Kaya, "I'm sorry they hurt you. You deserve better than this." "I know, Jinho teacher," Kaya said sadly. "You taught me what kindness looks like. I will remember that when my mother asks me about humans." As they took Jinho away, he heard Dr. Bay asking Kaya more questions, but now her voice was scared instead of angry. The scientist finally understood that she might have made a terrible mistake. They put Jinho in a small room with no windows and told him he would be sent to military court for interfering with important work. Lieutenant Daeho came to see him later. "You threw away your career for a dragon," Daeho said. "Why?" "Because it was the right thing to do," Jinho replied. "Because someone had to stand up for her. Because if we become the kind of people who hurt children to get information, then we've already lost the war in the most important way. The dragon says her mother is coming with a fleet. You might have doomed us all." Jinho thought about that. "Maybe. Or maybe I helped save us all. If the Empress has been watching through her daughter's eyes, she's seen humans do both good and bad things. Which do you think she'll remember more? The humans who tortured her child, or the humans who tried to protect her?" Daeho did not answer, but his face looked troubled. Far across the galaxy, Empress Yara stood on the bridge of her flagship. Around her stretched the largest dragon fleet ever assembled, thousands of ships ready to burn human worlds to ash. But the Empress was thinking about what she had seen through her daughter's eyes. She had watched the human called Jinho risk everything to protect Kaya from pain. She had seen him treat her daughter with more kindness than some dragons had ever shown. She had also seen the humans who wanted to hurt Kaya for information, who saw her only as a thing to be used. "General Vex," she said, "how long until we reach human space?" 3 days, Empress. Shall I order the fleet to prepare for total war?" Empress Yara watched the stars ahead of them. Somewhere in that direction was her daughter and the humans who held her. Some of those humans were monsters, but some, like Jinho, were something else. "Prepare for war," she said finally, "but also prepare for the possibility of peace. When we arrive, I want to meet this janitor who sings to my daughter. I want to look into his eyes and see what kind of being he truly is. And if he disappoints you, then we burn every human world until none remain. But if he is truly what he appears to be..." She paused, thinking of Kaya's laughter when Jinho told her stories. "Then perhaps there is hope for both our peoples." The dragon fleet flew on through the dark, carrying with it the future of 2 species. War or peace would be decided not by emperors or admirals, but by what one janitor had taught a lonely dragon child about the power of kindness. The dragon fleet arrived 3 days later, just as Empress Yara had said. Thousands of ships appeared on the edge of human space like stars coming to life. Each ship was beautiful and terrible, made of crystal and metal that caught starlight, and threw it back in rainbow colors. Admiral Hyunwoo called for emergency meetings. All the human ships in the area rushed to form a defense line, but everyone knew it would not be enough. The dragon fleet was too big, too powerful. On the station, alarms rang constantly. People ran through the halls preparing for attack. But in his small prison room, Jinho could only wait and worry about Kaya. Dr. Kim So-min came to see him as the human fleet prepared for battle. "The dragons are here," she said. "They're asking to talk before any fighting starts. They want to speak. With you." "With me?" Jinho was surprised. "Why?" "Kaya told them about you. About how you treated her. The Empress wants to meet the human who was kind to her daughter." They brought Jinho to the main meeting room where Admiral Hyunwoo and the other leaders waited. Through the big windows, they could see the dragon ships glowing against the black of space. A message came through on all frequencies. The voice was deep and musical, speaking in perfect human language. "This is Empress Yara of the Dragon Realm. I have come for my daughter. I wish to speak with the human called Park Jinho before any blood is spilled." Admiral Hyunwoo looked at Jinho with confusion and fear. "What did you do to that dragon?" "I was kind to her," Jinho said simply. A small dragon ship separated from the fleet and flew toward the station. It was more beautiful than the others, shaped like a flower made of silver and gold. It docked with the station gently, making no threatening moves. The airlock opened, and Empress Yara stepped through. She was magnificent and terrible at the same time. Taller than any human, with scales that shifted color like oil on water. Her eyes were ancient and wise and filled with power that could crack planets. Wings folded against her back glowed with soft light. But when she saw Jinho, her expression was curious rather than angry. "You are the one who sings to my daughter while you clean?" she said. Her voice was like distant thunder, but not unfriendly. "Yes, Your Majesty," Jinho said. He bowed the way he had bowed to Kaya, with respect, but not fear. "You brought her flowers." "Yes." "You told her stories about your world, about happiness and family and kindness." "Yes." Empress Yara studied his face for a long moment. "You defended her when others would have caused her pain." "Yes. It was the right thing to do. Even though she is dragon and you are human? Even though our peoples have been at war for generations?" Jinho thought about that question. It was the most important question anyone had ever asked him. "Your Majesty," he said slowly, "when I looked at Kaya, I didn't see a dragon or an enemy. I saw a young person who was scared and lonely and far from home. I saw someone who needed a friend. How could I be anything but kind to her?" The Empress was quiet for a long time. Then she said something that surprised everyone. "I would like to see my daughter now, with you there." They walked together to Kaya's room, the mighty Empress of all dragons, and the human janitor who cleaned floors. The other humans followed, at a distance, not sure what to expect. When the doors opened, Kaya looked up and saw her mother. She cried out in joy and ran to her, speaking rapidly in dragon language. They embraced, and for a moment, they were just a mother and daughter who had been apart too long. Then Kaya pulled away and took her mother's hand. She led her to where Jinho stood and said in human words, "Mother, this is Jinho, teacher. He taught me about happiness. He taught me that some humans have good hearts. He protected me when others wanted to hurt me." Empress Yara looked down at Jinho. "My daughter says you told her that family can grow in unexpected ways, that someone can choose to love a child who is not their own blood." "Yes, Your Majesty. Love doesn't care about what species someone is." "Show me," the Empress said. Jinho was confused. Show you what? Show me how you treated my daughter. Show me this kindness you speak of. So Jinho did what he had done every day for months. He started to hum one of his grandmother's old songs while he straightened the room. He talked to Kaya about his day and asked about hers. He smiled when she told him something interesting. He listened when she spoke. Most importantly, he treated her exactly the same with her mother watching as he had when they were alone. With respect, with care, with genuine affection. Empress Yara watched it all. She saw how Kaya's eyes lit up when Jinho spoke to her. She heard her daughter laugh at one of his gentle jokes. She watched Kaya show her mother the small plant that Jinho had brought, explaining how he had taught her to care for it. "You see, Mother," Kaya said, "not all humans are cruel. Some are like Jinho, teacher. They choose kindness even when it costs them something." The Empress turned to Admiral Hyunwoo and the other human leaders who had been watching nervously. "I came here ready to burn your worlds to ash for taking my daughter," she said. "I came with enough ships to end your civilization. But through her eyes, I have seen both the worst and the best of your people." She gestured toward Dr. Bay, who stood in the corner looking frightened. "I have seen humans who would torture a child for information, who see other beings as things to be used rather than people to be respected." Then she looked at Jinho. "But I have also seen humans who choose compassion over fear, who risk their own safety to protect someone different from themselves, who can look at their enemy's child and see only a young person who needs care." The room was completely silent except for the soft hum of the station's machines. "Here is my decision," Empress Yara said. "The war between our peoples will end, not because of treaties or negotiations, but because my daughter has shown me that some humans are capable of wisdom that even dragons respect." She placed her hand on Jinho's shoulder. "This human will be the first ambassador between our peoples. He will teach other humans what my daughter taught him, that kindness is stronger than fear, that understanding is more powerful than hate." Admiral Hyunwoo found his voice. "You're offering peace? Just like that?" "I am offering a chance for peace," the Empress corrected. "If your people can learn to see others as this one does, as individuals worthy of respect rather than enemies to be destroyed, then yes, there can be peace." She looked around the room at all the human faces. "But if your people choose the path of those who would hurt children for information, if you choose fear over understanding," her eyes glowed brighter, "then my ships will still be here. Choose wisely." Later, as the dragon fleet prepared to escort Kaya home, the young dragon hugged Jinho goodbye. "Will I see you again, Jinho teacher?" she asked. "If your mother is serious about peace, then yes," Jinho said. "I'll come visit you, and maybe you can show me your home world." "I would like that. I want to show you our gardens. I think you would love our flowers." As the dragon ships departed, carrying with them the possibility of a new future, Admiral Hyunwoo asked Jinho a question. "How did you know? How did you know that being kind to her would lead to this?" Jinho watched the beautiful ships disappear into the stars. "I didn't know. I just knew that she was a person who deserved kindness. Everything else happened because of that choice." One act of kindness changed the fate of two civilizations? "No," Jinho said, thinking of his sister Minji and her work. With children, of his grandmother's gentle songs, of all the people who had taught him that love was stronger than fear. Many acts of kindness, by many people over many years, led to this moment. I just happened to be the one who was here when it mattered most. He smiled as the last dragon ship vanished into hyperspace. But yes, kindness can change everything. It just takes someone willing to try. Far across the galaxy, in a crystal palace on a world of eternal twilight, a young dragon princess told her mother stories about a human janitor who had taught her that the universe was full of wonders, and that friendship could bloom between any two hearts brave enough to reach across the darkness and touch.